Very good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Stuart Close Philosophy, and we have started discussing about the fourth year syllabus and the first chapter from Stuart Close, that is the psychological point of view, we have started discussing. And he started the chapter with the great personalities in different fields, and while explaining, he has explained the name of certain peoples who have done something in their life and they are known for that. When he started explaining about them, why these people have done such a great work, it is not only the fluke, there are many factors which are behind that, because of which it was possible. They have done certain very hard work, they work efficiently for that, and because of which it was possible for them to achieve such a success. Otherwise, it would have not been. And that's why there are two figures. That is, the first is Hippocrates in the field of clinical medicine, and in from homeopathy, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. They have achieved such a state. They have at the top of their mountain because they have done such a very hard work. And he explained over there, master always remains to be master. He has explained, he has done everything by experimentation and nothing by just a speculation. And that's why Hahnemann have a big name and fame. Second important thing, then he started explaining about homeopathy, and he explained that homeopathy has a twofold existence. First, as an organization in the form of institutes, and second, a personal practitioner who used to practice homeopathy according to the principles of homeopathy and who follows the principles. And while explaining that, he started explaining about homeopathy as a system and certain aspects of homeopathy. He explained first paragraph over there. He explained that this is the only medical science which is based upon specific principles which are fixed, never changing, and it is the science because of which one it has existence. Second important thing, then he started explaining about, if you want to make a career in the field of homeopathy, your success will depend upon certain factors. He said over there that if you want to achieve a success, it is directly proportional to your efficiency. At the same time, he has explained that this efficiency depends upon three important factors, and which we have discussed in length in yesterday's session. The first factor was native ability. Second factor is acquired technical proficiency. And third factor, which was very important, that is, it is the application, or it is the logical consistency in its practical application. These are the 3 points which we have discussed. Those who are students over there, just write over there that which are the three important factors which Hahnemann have explained, Dr. Stuart Close have explained in order to achieve the success. You have to write this. This is an MCQ. So these three factors you have to write. First is native ability, second is acquired technical proficiency, and third is logical consistency in its application of principles. These are three factors which we have discussed in length, and now we will turn on what things these three factors you can develop, or which are the four important parameters along with these three factors which are necessary to build your success. And then he starts. The exercise of this qualification requires, number one, honesty. Most important factor which he explains is honesty. What is honesty? Honesty is a truthfulness, pramanikpana, namrapana. This is very important. You should be very trustworthy towards what you are doing. Second important factor is courage. Courage is always there. When you deal with certain specific things, you must have courage. If you know that your pathy is correct, you know that you have to treat an individual. Even though the patient of cancer comes to you, you know you don't have to treat the cancer, you have to treat the individual who is suffering from cancer. And then you are damn sure about remedy. You must have courage to treat that with that remedy. and you expect what you feel, because unless and until you have the courage, you cannot find it out what results you can get. If you don't use it, it will be not of any use. So you must develop that courage to apply your principles with and see the results. So second important factor, what is required for a homeopath is courage. Number three, fidelity to the highest ideal or high ideal. Fidelity means, fidelity, this word comes again. It has been written in 83 aphorism by Hahnemann while describing the qualities of homeopathic physician for the chronic case taking. Anyone who knows which are four qualities of homeopathic physician for chronic case taking in the aphorism number 83? Freedom from
Could you
prejudice.
please
There are
okay.
four. First is
Yeah,
freedom
for
from prejudice. Second is sound senses. Third is keen, keen observer. And number four is fidelity in tracing the picture of disease. These are four qualities which Hahnemann have explained. There the fidelity word came. Fidelity means tanto tantapana, as it is. So fidelity to the high ideal. What is an ideal? Adarsha. Someone who has done such type of work to whom you want to follow. You must have an high ideal in the field of homeopathy as a Hahnemann. The person who has done so much of work, he is your ideal. So you must try to achieve what Hahnemann have achieved in his lifetime. He has devoted his life. The way he has devoted his life, you must start doing like that. If you go with that, then with that enthusiasm, with that courage, with that vivaciousness, then definitely you will going to achieve the success, because you are doing it for the betterment of the suffering mankind. And number fourth point, which he explains over there, is the right point of view. Right point of view means, how do you look towards the situation? Drushtikon, attitude. Very important thing. How do you look towards your pathy? How do you answer to the peoples when anyone asks you, what do you do? If you say, I am doing homeopathy, it's very important. I am doing homeopathy. How do you look towards your own pathy? It makes the difference. It makes the sense. Very important. Very important thing. How do you look towards your patient? What is your attitude? What is your right point of view? So important that if you are damn sure that you are going to treat that patient or not, how do you look towards handling such types of grave disorders? Your point of view is first should be right, then it will create a success in the patient. See, these are very essential qualities. Close says, and this paragraph is dedicated for young newborn homeopaths, neophytes. For them, these are the criteria. My suggestion is that read that again and again and try to go with that. Everything is having a meaning. Honesty, very, very important in your practice. You should be very honest enough. If you feel that it is not a condition where you can't do anything with homeopathy, tell the patient frankly, yes, I cannot. If you don't know the things, tell them frankly, I don't know the things. You should be very honest, but don't deceive anyone. That is more important. Second important thing, courage. Courage is another important factor. That's what we have discussed. So whenever I used to deal with difficult pathologies, I used to deal with confidence. I'm dealing with very, very acute problems nowadays, pathological problems. But I take a chance because if I'm damn sure that this remedy is there indicated for such and such condition, why not to try? If anyone never tries, it will not come into the existence. I used to do utilization of the homeopathic remedies in our gynec hospital, gynec obstetric hospital many times. Unless and until we use it, it will not be useful for the future generation. Medicines are there, no one is using. It requires courage, but that courage we can gain only by learning and studying. Study is very, very important thing which builds your confidence. And second, practical learning. If you learn practically, if you watch, yes, use of higher potency. I have seen many homeopaths, they never goes above 30. This is wrong. They are not learning what is the importance of potency. And that's why they don't go high. But if you understand exactly, then you can go ahead. You can use 10M, 50M, CM with confidence and with very early results. So this is too important. And last point, the fidelity to a high ideal, that is very, very, very essential. My suggestion to all of you is that to learn the life sketches of the persons who have done many things in their life. It is not related only homeopathy. Anything. You must learn the, you must learn it from the, if you read the biography of Shivaji, if you read the biography of mm, mm, the Agnipank, which is written over there, APJ Abdul Kalam, must read it. Dr. Miss Veena Gavankar, she has written many biographies, and you must read those biographies. You can learn something from their life. It is too important that builds your confidence and that builds your right point of view, how to look towards the people, how to look towards the humanity, how to look towards the suffering humanity. That these things develops automatically in you. And that's why these are four important factors. The exercise word is used. You have to do it again and again, exercise. Then it goes inside you. Then you automatically remains honest in your practice. It goes, when it touches your heart and it goes in your brain, it develops automatically. There is nothing to do anything if you do the exercise of all those things. So these are four important points which he explains over there. This exercise of these qualifications requires honesty, courage, fidelity to a high ideal, and right point of view. And then he says, next paragraph is again very important. Every problem with which homeopathy deals, therefore, must be approached, and every technical process conducted systematically from a particular and definite mental standpoint. The student or practitioner of homeopathy must not only know what this point of view is, but he must acquire it and act from it with each case. So, when you deal with the patients, when you start applying homeopathy with the problems of suffering humanity, then you must approach the patients, you must develop the technical methods. So, you must develop a proper case taking method. You must have a well developed case paper so that you will not miss the things. But it doesn't mean it should be mechanical. It should be logical. If you start communicating with the patient and patient started directly in, don't disturb him. Listen him. That is more important thing. Listen and write it down, whatever he is telling. Then you can ask the name. It doesn't matter. It is not always needed that you should ask the name at first only. Yes, it is definitely when you start communicating. But it is not the thing that you should disturb the patient if patient has started narrating. So every technical process conducted systematically from particular and definite mental standpoint. You have the whole format, and patient started narrating and he is jumping from one idea to the another and he is giving you many points. You have written that, but you have a complete form. Then you can check and recheck and you find it out. Yes, this is missing in the case. The past history patient has not explained. Then you can enter into that point. You can find it out that patient has not explained about the family history. Then you can get that point. So everything you can get with the help of such a techniques. If you make a method and techniques in your practice, it becomes simple for you. So the methods and systems should be generated when you deal or when you start practice. So this is the one more point which he explains. The student or practitioner of homeopathy must not only know that this point of view is, but the must acquire it and act from it in each case. This might be called the personal side of homeopathy. For in the last analysis, homeopathy from the psychological standpoint is essentially a state of mind existence in the person of its representative. So if you develop all those characters in as an individual in you, whatever the parameters which he has explained in earlier paragraph, and then you build yourself like that, then definitely being a personal practitioner of homeopathy, you develop and you get the success, you achieve, because it is simple. There is no restriction. Being a personal practitioner, there is no restriction of certain rules on you. Being a person who is working in an institute or an organization, there are many restrictions, whether to do it or whether not to do it. There are many restrictions on you. But being an homeopathic practitioner, you can do and you can experiment a number of things. The path which has been explained by Hahnemann of experimentation, one should follow. We are not following. And this is what he wants to explain over there, that the on the personal side, you can utilize that. So this might be called the personal side of homeopathy, in the in the last analysis, homeopathy from the psychological point is essential state of mind existence in the person of its representative. So what is the state of mind of that person who is practicing homeopathy? How he looks towards his pathy, how he looks towards the human being, how he looks towards the suffering humanity. Every point matters a lot. In this sense, personality or the sum of all essential attributes and qualities of the individual is a condition precedent to the professional success. So all those qualities, if you develop in you, then your professional success will be there. Then you definitely reach to the people, then you definitely achieve what you want, then you definitely be at the top of mountain. But these should be there inside you. These you have to grasp and develop. These you can get it from many people with whom you meet. And once you meet them, you can learn a lot of qualities of those. So these paragraphs are very essential for every new homeopath. And then he says, having defined the qualities and attributes that enter into the makeup of homeopathy decision, the various practical problems and technical process of homeopathy can be taken up and discussed from the point of view already established. What is happening with homeopathy at present, what I observe is that we used to follow sixth edition of Organon of Medicine. Since long time, since 250 years, we were learning the sixth edition of Organon of Medicine. We never thought how this organon is developed. We never thought that why Hahnemann changed the editions of organon from first to sixth. We are just following sixth because he has given the last edition, sixth edition. What about the next edition? What about the experimentation path which he has shown? Nothing. Because of which we are restricted to the certain things. We are not dealing with the different types of pathological problems and correlating those pathological problems in relation with the homeopathy. We are not thinking beyond, which is very important, which is need of the time. We are not correlating the modern science with the homeopathy. We are not correlating medicine with the homeopathy. And because of which we consider certain things, this is characteristic, but you don't know this is the characteristic. If you don't read the medicine, you don't know. If you don't read the surgery, you don't know many things. And you consider it is a characteristic. It's not like that. Then what is lacking in homeopathy is that there are many issues which are yet to be discussed. We are missing at the level of therapeutics on the name that we treat the individual as a whole. But why don't we study the correlation of the diseases in relation with the homeopathic materia medica? Why don't we study that the depth of action of a specific remedy on a specific system, if it is there, then why that pathology is very specifically happening in that remedy only? If such types of things we study, then our materia medica become more strong, more scientific. If we find it out that Lycopodium and Silicea are very close to each other, why don't we study that what are the contents of a Lycopodium plant and how much silica is there in the Lycopodium plant, because of which Lycopodium is having many features of silica at the same time? Why we never go for such types of scientific explanation? If we go with this idea, then if we start utilizing the knowledge of homeopathy in relation with the modern science, we'll definitely have a scientific aspect, and people will start understanding the scientificity of homeopathy. There are many lacunas in allopathy, but still they dominates us. Today only I have seen a case who came to me 1 year back and only taken the 15 days treatment. He was having disc, prolapse intervertebral disc, at 2 levels in cervical spine, at 5 levels in at 5 levels in thoracic spine, and at 4 levels in lumbar spine. I explained him that homeopathy will definitely cure you, but it will take little bit time, 6 months to 1 year period definitely required, because you are not having a single disc problem, you are having it at multiple level, and surgery is not the answer. But people never follows immediately because they don't know the scientificity of homeopathy. He ran away, got operated in a big institute in Pune, and suffered with neurogenic bladder. And this fellow came today with me. Since operation, he was 2 months continuously on catheter. Thereafter, they removed catheter, but he used to get infection off and on. Since operation in last December till this December, in 1 year, he is continuously on antibiotics. If she stops antibiotics, the infection goes on. And they have asked that your bladder is not getting empty. The urine is remaining over there and it used to produce more infection. So he is doing 3 times catheterization daily. At what cost? At the age of 30, 32, patient is suffering like that. Throughout the life, he will going to do all those things. Only because he don't know the importance of homeopathy. Today, I explained that if you want to come out of this situation, also homeopathy will require, but you have to continue with it at least for a year. It will not a magic. Within a day, it will going to get better. And then he understood, yes, if he would have followed me at that time, he would have not suffered from such a grave disorder. But this is missing. And this is missing because we are not showing our importance of our pathy with the correlation with the modern science. And that is the need of the time. I think we'll stop over here. This chapter we have to discuss in such a manner because this is a big chapter and where lot of things Close have explained, and it has lot of meaning. Every paragraph is having meaning in this chapter. So even though it will be a little bit slow, you will feel, but we have to go with this. If we understand the depth of it, then definitely there will be change in your aspects of looking toward the Stuart Close, and you will not close his book. So that's all for today. Today evening we'll definitely meet with one more remedy at 8:15. So that's all for today. Thank you being there and good evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.